Hello, this is a brief overview of the instructions for the semester project for Econ 202, the Microeconomics Principle course. The instructions begin with the Common Course objectives that the project satisfies, and then there's an overview of the assignment, and then there are the specifics of the assignment, and this lists your formatting specifics as well as some resources that are available to you. We have an economic scholarly resources page, a separate handout that describes what exactly that means. And we also have a link here and a reminder that the library is available to assist you with this project. We have a dedicated librarian to the project as a resource for you. It will count for 10% of your course grade, and there's a rubric to show how it will be graded, which I'll get to near the end of this little video. Each class or section will have its own due date. An important thing for all sections is that the project be submitted electronically through Brightspace, and it does not in anywhere in the text in the cover page or the file name or anywhere specify the student or instructor's names. The projects will be within the project anywhere you want to list an identifier for yourself. Well, you need to list an identifier for yourself, but where you list an identifier for yourself, use your 900 number instead of your name. Don't worry about your instructor not knowing who you are when it comes time for them to be graded, because Brightspace will identify who the submitter of the project was. But after the semester is finished, these will all be compiled institution-wide, and they will be graded blindly. In other words, the people grading them won't know whose project it was, and the 900 number accomplishes that. Here are the steps to doing your project listed down here. Be sure you read through all of these before you begin, because the first step is to gather information, but you want to know what to gather information on. So be sure you read the questions that are listed down here. What you're going to be looking at just broadly is solar subsidies in the United States. And here are some sources where you might begin. You're going to answer these questions about solar subsidies. You're relating these to perfect competition, which is a market structure that we discuss in the microeconomics course near the end of the semester. However, you will want to be working on your project before that, so you can be addressing question number 2, and really most likely question number 3, even if you do not yet understand what perfect competition is. You can circle back to that to answer that question, and your project will turn out just fine. Here are, again, the specifics listed again down here of the project. And just a reminder, make sure it's identified only by your 900 number, not you or the instructor's names, please, and submit it through Brightspace. Now, the rubric looks like this. And what a rubric does for you is it lists, in this case, what the Common Course objective is, and the part of the project is listed here that addresses that Common Course objective. But important to you and your grades are what an exemplary answer looks like versus worth 4 points versus a non-answer, what that looks like. And so for each of these, you could look at this prompt in the project, in your project, and say, well, how did I answer that? Does it look more like this or more like this? And then you should know at the time of submitting your project roughly what your score will be on the project. An important thing to note, I think, is that information literacy, that is, citing your works correctly and making sure you have a works cited or reference page, it's worth just as many points as answering one of the questions. So it's not a small thing, and oftentimes students treat it like a small thing, and sometimes they don't even submit a works cited page, but that costs you quite dearly. So on that note, I like to point out a resource that I like to use when I'm writing something. It's called the OWL at Purdue. Purdue University hosts this website and provide it to the world free. And it's a really good site. In addition to the librarian available to us here and the resources at the library, this is something you might find useful. It provides you with very good examples of APA or other formats for your other classes. Formatting. What I have opened here is just a general piece on APA formatting, but over here on the left, this menu gives you very specifics. So, for example, in-text citations, if you click here, an author by work by just one author, the in-text citation should look like that. 2 authors, it looks like that. 3 or more, that's where you add in et al. Different kinds of things, situations that you might encounter when you're doing research, they pretty much have them all as an example. And they do the same thing for the reference list. So if you find an electronic source that you want to cite, just go in here and it gives you examples of what that citation should look like. So I find this a very useful resource. Again, it's called the OWL at Purdue. So that's this overview of the instructions. If you have any specific questions, be sure to just ask your instructor.